Hey guys, this is E with Scrapbooking with me, and today we're going to make a little graduation gift box with a hidden compartment in it. Okay, you're going to need a piece of cardstock that is 8 by 8, and you're going to need your envelope punch board. Okay, you're going to put it in your punch board at 2 5/8. So 2 5/8, you're going to punch and you're going to score. Now be careful when you're scoring down to the bottom, because this doesn't go all the way. You run out of board about right there. And then you're going to turn it and you're going to put it in at 3 3/8. And you're going to punch that and score. You're going to put it back in at 2 5/8. Punch, score. And then at 3 3/8, punch, score. Okay, so we've got all 4, and I know you can't see that. I'm sorry, it's pretty dark here today. We've had rain all day long, but we've got our 4 score lines around. But what we're going to do now is we're going to slide this over to that score line right there is lined up with that little point. So just line that score line up with that little point. Let me bring it up and show you. See how we've got that score line lined up with that little point right there. Okay, so make sure it's lined up really good. Punch it, and you're going to score again, and that score line should come right to the center of where you cut that one out there. You're going to turn it, go to this score line right here, do the same thing, line it up, punch, score. Go to this score line, line it up, punch, score, and one more. Line it up with that score line, punch it, and score it. Right, now you have something that looks like this. Got a lot of different score lines in there, so we're going to go ahead and fold and burnish. Okay, and once you have all of those folded and burnished, what you're going to do is take these two, you see these 2 larger points, these are a little bit smaller, this little flap. Take the 2 larger points and put one facing you and one facing away, and then you're going to go to this score line right here, and you're going to cut down that score line just to that first little score line. You're making that little tab there. And I'm going to go ahead and cut off this little bit of a point here. Okay, so that's what you're going to do right there. So you need to cut down the middle of that score line as much as possible. That way you make sure that you put your box together right. Flip it around, do the same thing on the other side. Okay, just like that. Now what you're going to do is take these little tabs, you're going to fold it down, and you're going to put your fingers in that score line that's right there, and you're going to fold this up and burnish. See what that does? That makes that fold in there. Make sure it's good and tight up against there, and just make that crease there. This is going to make your box extra strong, the bottom of it. So go ahead and fold that up and burnish. Just lay it down, fold it, hold your fingers in that other score line there, and fold it up. I'm getting stuff all over this paper for some reason. Probably had some glue on my mat that I didn't wipe off. Okay. So now you've got all of those folded. Now what you want to do is put some glue or tape, whatever you're going to use. I'm just going to use my art glitter glue on these little tabs. So you're ready to put your box together. Okay, now make sure when you're putting your box together, when you're putting this up, that your corners come straight in line. This is going to be very important for your box and for the slider mechanism. If it's a little bit off, it's going to make a difference. So make sure that your corners are straight up and down. So see how I met those corners? Met this corner with that score line right there. And then I just flip it and put my bone folder in there and press all that glue out really well. Because we want to make sure that that sticks. And then go to the other side and do the same thing on these tabs. Bring that up, make sure that it meets right at that corner fold, or right at that score line on the corner. Do the same thing on the other end. And you could do this with score tape, but I like to use my art glitter glue. It gives me just a little bit of wiggle room in case I get it a little bit off. Okay, we're going to put our bone folder in there and give it a good smush. Okay, and now we're ready to put these down inside our box, just like that. So we're just going to put a little bit of glue. And they try to stay on their own, but we are going to glue them down. It's just going to make it a lot sturdier if we glue all these down. So I'm just going to put a little glue here and there. Press that down in there. Make sure that it's right up to the side. Don't let it come out any. Make sure it's pressed right up against the side. So you're going to go ahead and cut another piece of paper, and this one is 4 1/8 by 3 1/8, and this is going to go down in the bottom of this box, and it's just going to cover up all of that and make it a lot sturdier, because we need this box to be nice and strong. And it should fit exactly in there if you cut that right. Press it down. Okay, so there's our box. We're going to lay that aside for just a moment, and we're going to work on some other parts of this. So now you're going to need a piece of paper that is, let me look at my measurements. This is cut at 4 1/4 by 7 1/8. So 4 1/4 by 7 1/8. You're going to put it in your scoreboard on the 7 1/8 inch side. You're going to score at 3/4, at 7/8. Starts at 7/16. Okay, 3/4, 7/8. Then you're going to slide down to 4 1/8 and 4 1/4. 4 1/8 and 4 1/4. Now these score lines are very, very close together. So what we're going to do, this is just a trick that I do to make sure that my score lines fold up like they are supposed to. I put my ruler down on that first score line and I flip it up, and I put my ruler down on that second score line and fold it up. That breaks down a few of those fibers and makes it just a little bit easier for me to fold when there's only 1/8 an inch between the score lines. Okay, and then I'm going to fold them over and make sure that I use my bone folder and crease those really well. And I know someone's going to ask what the color of this paper is. This is the Peacock. That's called Peacock, and this is from the new summer jewel tone cardstock pack from American Crafts. This is the jewel tones. These are fantastic. You get 60 sheets, 12 by 12, 80 pounds, and you get 3, I think it's 3, yeah, 3 of each sheet, 3 of each color, so that's fantastic. And they have all different kinds. I know y'all see me use them all the time, but I will link that below because I always get asked. Okay, you're going to have something that looks just exactly like this. Make sure that your little 1/8 of an inch things are standing up there and not laying down. Okay, then we're going to go, and I'm going to flip my mat back just for a second. We're going to go in right here. This is what we're going to call the back. So where you made that last little score line there, this is going to be the back part. We're going to take our ruler and lay it down on that last score line. We're going to line up the 1 inch and looks like 4 1/4 inch. We're going to line those up on that last score line, and then we're just going to mark from 4 inches down to 1 1/4. What we're doing is we're just coming in 1/4 of an inch from that score line, 1/4 of an inch from this score line, and then marking 1/8 of an inch in right there. That's all we're doing. And if you don't have a 10 pulse ruler, you can just measure it on your own. You do not have to have this. It just makes it a lot easier for me. Okay. So we're going to start right there and come down to right there. I think I went a little bit too far. There we go. So that's all we've done. And then I'm going to take my knife, take my X-Acto knife, and I'm just going to cut out right there at those points. That's 1/4 inch point there. And I'm going to lay my ruler down on that 1/8 of an inch line that I made. Hold it really tight, and I'm going to slice that down to cut that little piece out. See, I just cut that little piece out right there. That's all I did. So then we're going to do the same thing on the other end. There we go. Okay, so that is done. Now we can flip our mat back down. Okay, so all you did was you just cut out some little slits on either end there. And now what we're going to do is, I just took a regular sandwich bag, just a little Ziploc sandwich bag, and I cut out a piece that is 2 3/4 by 8 3/4. So 2 3/4 by 8 3/4. And we're going to put this right down here and make sure that I need to trim out a little bit right here. Just make sure that your little cutout, that your bag fits right in the middle of it. If it doesn't, then you need to go just a little bit further out with it, with your cutout. Okay. Alright, so let's see if it fits good now. Oh yeah. Alright, so you're going to wrap that around, and I put this little part where the side of the bag is, I put that down. It seems to not hang as bad if you put it down. So I put that down, and then I flip this around, bring that over, and you're going to tape that together right there. Now don't pull it so tight that it can't move, but don't leave it really loose either. Just pull it until you know it fits pretty well. And we're going to use some score tape on this, because glue would not work. So we're going to put some score tape on it. Okay, now make sure that this bag is really straight. Don't let it get crooked on you. There we go. Now if there's any excess sticking up, like right there, I have that little bit, just go ahead and trim that off. I I didn't trim it too well with my trimmer, I don't think. So we're going to trim that little excess off right there. Now you're going to take a piece, and you can use cardstock. I just use some glitter paper. I think that's going to really be pretty. Make sure that your little piece where you put it together is right here. And put some adhesive on the back of this, just on one end, not on both ends. So we're just going to put some adhesive right there, and one more little strip right beside it. That is all we're going to put on there. Don't put it all down through there. So I'm using 1/4 inch. You could use a 1/2 inch, that would be fine. And I don't think just regular glue is going to work, so I would definitely use a good I definitely use some score tape. And now what you're going to do is you're going to put this right on that end. You're going to center it up. I hope my head's not in the shot. I'm trying to make sure that I have it centered. And I don't, so I'm going to pull it up before it sticks. Center it up just like that and press it down. Okay, so we've got that. And now we can go ahead and glue this part down right here. That's going to be your little card that's going to slide in and out under the box. So just make sure that you have that on there as straight as you can. Then you can go ahead and put your adhesive on here and close this up. And I think I'm going to put this on the outside. So I'm going to run my adhesive right here. I'm going to fold that over, but I'm going to make sure that I keep my little 1/8 of an inch pieces sticking up there. I'm not going to fold it flat because I don't want that card not to be able to slide. So see, that's what we've got, just like that. Okay, now you're going to take your box and you're going to put adhesive just on one end of the box. And I'm going to use my 1/4 inch again. Okay, now we glued the card on this end right here. So what we want to do is glue this box on the other end. Don't glue it on the same end where you glued that card. See, the card is down here glued right there. So we want to lay this down, and I shouldn't have run my tape all the way to the edge. Don't run your tape all the way out to the edge. I'm going to fold mine up a little bit. You just want to put your glue the width of your plastic, not all the way out to the edge. I did that when I made my other one too. I get happy with that score tape. So I'm just rolling it back. Doesn't hurt anything. Because you only want this box to stick to that plastic right there. And then you're going to just center it up and press your box down, making sure that it's straight. So what we're going to do now is take a little piece of seam binding, and I should have put this on before I put the box down, but I didn't. But we can still put it on there. We're going to put it on this end right here, and we're just going to put it somewhere near the middle. You could use ribbon, whatever. You don't have to use seam binding. I'm just using this because I have it right here in front of me. Okay, so that's all I did, is just put that little piece of seam binding right there, just like that. Okay, we're going to lay that right there and let that dry really well. We're going to take, let's see, we're going to take another piece of cardstock, and this one is cut at 4 1/4 by 10 1/2. So let's make sure that I got 10 1/2, 4 1/4. Okay, you're going to put it in on the 10 1/2 inch side, and you're going to find your scoring tool. You're going to score at 2 inches, 3 5/8. Okay, I scored that incorrectly right there, but what I did is I just flipped it over and I went back over that score line real light, and it kind of takes it out. You can still see it, but we're going to have this top covered. So your first score mark is at 2. The next one is 3 5/8. This one is 6 7/8. I can't read my own writing. And then this one is 8 1/2. You ever write something down and then can't read it? I do that all the time. And now this is going to make the cover for your box. So what this is going to do, it's going to wrap around it just like that. So you see, it wraps around just like that. So we're going to open this up, make sure that we've got that straight. We're going to put some glue right here. Fold it over and press it down. Okay, then you're going to do this one. You're going to glue that one down to that piece. Okay, there is our box. Now let's see if it works. Now I'm not going to pull really hard on this right now because that glue is still drying. So I'm probably just going to put my finger in there and pull on this. And there is our little piece of cardstock that slid out that end. And this is where I'm going to put a gift certificate. I'm going to glue that gift certificate right down to there. Then I'm going to put some goodies in here. And then you close it back up. Now mine's a little bit tight just because I probably put my plastic on there a little tight, but it'll loosen up because plastic stretches over time. So now if you want this to be a little bit more sturdy than mine is, because mine is a little bit limp, you can, this is a thin glitter paper. It's that non-shed glitter paper. You can put a heavier piece of cardstock on here and it won't be quite so flimsy as that is. Okay, but there is how that works. And now we're just going to do a little bit of stuff to the top. You could do these in your school colors, or the person that you're giving it to, their school colors. That would be really pretty. Oh, I can't. I got more glue on my fingers than I do on the back of this, I think. Okay, so we're going to press that down right there. And then we're going to put this one right there. And I'm going to use some art glitter glue on this. This has that little bit of a slick back to it. I think this is going to hold it better. There we go. Got that there. And then I just cut a little square for a cap, for a graduation cap. I'm just going to put a little bit of this ink on there. This is called Broken China. Just going to ink the edges just a little bit. And I'm going to put that right there, but I'm going to put it to where it kind of sits up. Maybe like that. But I made a little tassel. So I'm going to put this foam tape, I think, right under that like that. I'm I'm just going to press my finger in there and press that down. That'll kind of make it stand up off of there a little bit. And then I have a little scroll that I made for the little graduation certificate, and we're just going to ink the ends just a little bit. And I just rolled up a piece of paper and tied them. Nothing great and spectacular. I think we're going to glue the scroll down right there. So I'm going to see if it'll glue down with this art glitter glue. I think it will, but we're going to see. So again, we're going to stick our finger up in there and try to get that the way that we want it. Okay, so we have finished the gift card box there. There's our little scroll and that. And then you pull on this and it slides out. And there is your little gift certificate. And all I did was put some glue dots on the back of my gift certificate and put them on there. Put them down on there. Not a big deal. They can just roll them off when they get it. Now, I know why mine is sticking just a little bit, and I'm going to give you a tip. You see that little, I don't know if you can see it or not, see that little line right there from my plastic bag from the side of it? That's what mine is sticking on right there when it starts that point. If you can use a bag that is bigger than this, maybe a gallon bag, so that you don't have those side seams in it, those little side seams right there, that would be better. It will not stick if you do that. So make sure that you use a bag that doesn't have any side seams in it, or use a gallon bag, half a gallon, and cut it long ways so that you can have that without any seam on there, because that seam is what's catching on mine just a little bit. I think it'll loosen up some more once I use it a few times, pull it in and out, but that's what's catching just a little bit. So that's a tip for yours. Alright guys, that is it. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you have any questions, leave them below. All of these measurements and the photos will be on my blog. That link will be below as well. And we will talk to you guys later. Please don't forget to give us a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. Remember, we have our 10,000 subscriber giveaway coming up very soon. We're just pulling all of the gifts and everything together right now, so it's going to be a biggie. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.